Hey there, this is Akshay Madan and welcome back to a new video. And in this video, I'm going to cover 70 SQL questions. So we are going to code together. We are going to read the question, solve them, write the query and get it done. So whether you're a beginner, you're in college or you are still working, database is a very important concept. Whether you are sitting for on-campus placements, you're trying for off-campus placements, or you're trying for a switch, database concepts will be asked from any software engineer, SD 1, 2, 3, at any level you are. Database is a very important concept, right? And in that also, SQL queries are still very important. I know many of us are writing, almost all of us are using ChatGPT and DeepSeek for making our queries right. We are dependent on Copilots and Cursors and Devin to write SQL queries for us. But still, I feel if you write the query on your own, it becomes a very good exercise for you to actually stay connected to the tech, right? Because you actually use your brain to actually see which field you need to index, which column you need to pick up, how you want to join the table, how you want to get the data in whichever format that is expected. So it is totally fine if you are dependent on ChatGPT and these agents for writing code for you. But sometimes in between it is okay to practice these concepts, because in interview, some interviewer will be like old school and they might ask you this. They might ask you to write a query, right? And for such cases, you should be ready, because I know agents are there, but at least for the next 5 to 6 years, it will be difficult to change how interviews happen so suddenly, right? So yes, let's get started, and do check out the Discord server that I have created for all of you, where you can get some resources, you can get a place where you can ask questions, you can see the opportunities, talk to founders. So do check out that server, it is very important. And if you want to get on a one-on-one meeting with me, check out the TopMate link in the description. And if you want to get connected with me, check out my LinkedIn page. Now, without wasting more time, let's get started.
Okay, so let's start. And just to let you know, I'm using this platform called SQLpractice.com. It's a free platform where you can practice easy, medium and hard SQL questions. So I'll be using this platform throughout this video. Now in this platform, when you come, every setting is reset, and you can see that I have got like 4 tables. So I have a patients table which has these columns, and I can see there is an admissions table which has these columns. And if you want to see the schema, this is the schema diagram. I have a patients table. Every patient's row is having a patient, and it has some of the features. And I can see that other tables, how they are related. So I can see that every patient is going to get admitted into the hospital, and I can see that information like the admission date, discharge date, what was the disease that the patient got diagnosed with, attending doctor ID, and then you have the doctor's table. So all of these tables are interconnected, and we are going to explore the schema in this video. So this complete database we are going to use. So you can assume that this is some kind of hospital's database, and these are some of the tables that we have got. Amazing. Okay. Next thing is learning resources. So if you are a beginner in this SQL and you want to learn, you have also got some good resources here itself to learn. So you can see query basics. So if you don't know how select statement works or how insert statement works, feel free to click on it and read about it. But in this video, I'll assume that you already know some basics of SQL, and the basic SQL queries I may not be explaining you in detail, but we will be solving all the questions together. So if you are stuck anywhere and you don't know any of the like join or union, you can feel free to click on it and just give it a lighter read. Awesome. So let's get started with the first question. So click on view all questions, and you can see that we have some easy questions, we have some medium questions. So let's start with the first question. So the first question says, show first name, last name and gender of patient. So it is talking about the patients table that we have got over here, patients table. So in this patients table, we have to bring first name, last name and gender. So this is a very simple question, and the condition is also given. So whenever there is a condition on string, we can use the where clause. Okay, whose gender is M. Okay, so let me clear this and let me write the query. So first of all, whenever you have to write an SQL query, start by picking the table. So from which table? Patients table. So patients table. Then you write down your condition which is given. So my condition is where my gender is equal to M, that is male. So I have to pick all the male patients, and then you write down which all columns you need to show in your output. So select those columns. So select first name, last name and gender. So this should be it. And once you hit Control Enter, your query will be run, and you can see that I wrote the correct query. Great. Now let's go to the next question. So you can see that first question is completed. Now let's go to the next question. Next question is, show first name and last name of patients who does not have allergies. So if you go to this allergies, you can see it's text, and if I actually show you, you can see this allergies. So what I can do is, so I can say that if my allergies column is null, that means that patient does not have the allergy. Okay, so from patient itself, where allergies is equal to is null, right, is null, there all those rows I have to pick, and I don't need to show gender, I only need to show first name and last name. Hit Control Enter, and you can see that this question is also right. So I just went to that table, I wrote the condition where my allergies is null, and then I selected those respective columns which I needed to show in my output. Great. Like next question. Show first name of patients that start with the letter C. Okay, so here I have to write a pattern. Okay, so wherever you see the question like start with letter C or end with this character, start with this character, so that's a pattern that you have to write. So again, I have to pick from patients table itself. So from patients, all those patients whose first name start with letter C. So where my first name, like, so like keyword is used whenever you need to match your some column with a pattern. So my pattern is going to be, so write single quotes, and then you can say start with letter C. So C, and after that you write the percentage sign. Okay, so this means the first name, select the first name only wherever your first name like this pattern is like matches this pattern where the first name starts with capital C, and after that it can be anything, I don't care. So hit Control Enter, and you can see that this query is also right. I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's go to the next question. Show first name and last name of patients that weight within the range of 100 to 120. So over here we have to write an inclusive range. Okay, and I have to choose first name and last name from the patients table. So from patients table, where, and you can see that I have weight column in my patient. So from where weight is greater than equal to 100 and weight is less than equal to 120, there from those rows I have to pick first name and last name columns, and you can see this query is also correct. So we just had to write the simple conditional statement. We have to again use where itself from this table patients where my weights are greater than 100 and less than 120, both inclusive, pick first name and last name. Very simple query. So this is also a very easy question, and you can see that we have solved around 3 questions, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. Great. Let's go to the next question. So these are very simple. That's why I'm not investing a lot of time on these queries. As soon as the complexity will increase, I'll invest more time per query. Okay. Update the patient. So it is not selecting, it is update query. Update the patient's table for the allergies column. Okay. If the patient's allergies is null, then replace it with NKA. Okay, so update query. So I'll say update my patients table. So patients table, set allergies. Set allergies. What you need to modify? You need to modify allergies column. So set allergies. What should be the updated value? NK, which is given in the question. NK. Which all rows I need to pick? So where, again where we need to use, where your allergies is null. That's it. Very simple query. Hit Control Enter, and it is working perfectly. So update those patients, set the allergies to NK where your allergies is null. So wherever the allergies column is null, for all those rows, set allergies is equal to NK. That's what the question says. Okay, very simple. Let's go to the next question. Show first name and last name, okay, concatenated into one column to show their full name. Okay, so this one is interesting. So what we need to do, we need to work on the patients table itself. So I'll say from patients, show first name and last name concatenated. Okay, so I'll say select, and maybe you don't know, but there is a SQL keyword called concat. Okay, so if I show you concat in SQL, we have this keyword and we can use this keyword. So you can say concat. So again, select concat first name, comma, and you can see there is a space. So I'll add a space. Just a second. Add a space, comma, and then the third element will be last name. So all these three keywords, not these three keywords, but these three elements you are concatenating, right? So select concat first name, comma, space, comma, last name as full name from patients. That's it. So this should run perfectly, and you can see it is great. So you can see the output. Select concat first name, comma, space, comma, last name as full name from patients. Okay, let's go to the next question. I hope you are not just watching, so you have to actually wait when I read the question. After that, you have to pause the video, try to solve it on your own, and then you see the output. Then you see the solution. Okay, and before we move forward, you can check out my channel. I have been building projects. I've been building mobile apps, web apps, AI ML stuff, blockchain, Python, data science, machine learning, a lot of stuff I've been building on my channel. And all of these projects which I've built, they're all open source. You can check out my GitHub also. But it's a great place where I've been teaching all of this tech stuff in very simple English language. So do check it out. Now let's move forward. So the next question is, show first name, last name, and the full province name of each patient. So you can see that we have in our table the province ID, but the province name is a separate table. So this is the point where you have to understand the concept of joins. Whenever you need to work with two tables together, there you need to use a concept of joins. Okay, so if you see the schema, in my patients I have this province ID and I have a separate province names table. So I have to join these two tables on province ID. Wherever the province ID is matching, I have to join those rows and then I have to show the province name, because my province name is not in this patient's table. Okay, so let's write down the solution. So first of all, I have to pick the patient's table. So from patient's table, and you can see that in my patient's table I am having first name and last name. Okay, but I don't have the province name, and in the solution, in the question, it is asking me to print the full province name also. But in my patient's table I only have the province ID. Now using this province ID, I can go to province names table, I can match it with the province ID over here, and I can fetch the province name. Okay, so that means I need to join these two tables and then I need to work upon them. So from patients, join, so pick the patients table, join it with the province names table. On which parameter you need to join? On province names. I need to match this province names dot province ID. So province names dot province ID is equal to, from the patients table I need to pick the province ID, is equal to patients dot province ID. So wherever these two IDs are matching, I need to pick some columns. So select first name, last name, and province name. So you can see that in my patients table I'm having first name and last name, these two, but this province name is going to come from the province names table, and I can use it because I have created the joined table, right? This joined table is going to have this province name column. Okay, and that I'm picking up. So hit Control Enter and you can see the query is 100% right. Okay, great. Now let's go to the next question. Show how many patients have a birth date with 2010 as the birth year. Okay, great. So again, I have to work on the patients table. So in my patients table, I'm having this birth date. Okay, so from patients table, I need to select all those patients. So select all the columns. So select star from patients, have a birth date where year. So we have this year like a keyword also, year, birth date, provide the date. So it is going to fetch the year from that birth date, is equal to 2010. Okay, so there is some issue. show how many. Okay, so we need to show the count. So select count star. So it is going to count all the rows from patients where year is 2010. And you can see the query is 100% right. Great. Let's go to the next question. Show the first name, last name, and height of the patient with the greatest height. Okay. So what I have to do, I have to return only one single row of the person with the greatest height. And for that person, I need to show first name and last name and the height of that person. So this is where we use nested queries. We write a query inside a query. Okay, so you see how I'm going to write it. So first of all, let's write the query which finds out the greatest height, which finds out the maximum height. So it's a very simple query. From patients, I need to find the person with the maximum height. So select max height. Okay, so this is going to give me the maximum height. You can see it as 226. Okay, so this is the maximum height. Now I need to find out that person, that patient record which has this height. So I'll cut this. Okay, and I'll say from patients where my height is equal to, and then you write this circular brackets. In that you write your inner query. So paste it. So this is my inner query. Okay, so what it is doing, from this query I'll get 226. So wherever my height is 226, return me that patient record, and from those record I'll pick first name and last name because that is asked in the question. So first name, last name, and height. You can see this is the correct answer. So first of all, we wrote the inner query from where you can get the maximum height, then you match it with the height, and then you pick the columns that you need to return. Great. Let's go to the next question. Okay, show all the columns for patients who have one of the following patient IDs. Okay, great. So from patients, again same table, from patients, where my patient ID, which is a column, you can see this is a patient ID column. You have to use keyword in. So this in you have to use, and you have to create the set. So my set is this set which is given to me. So I'll copy this set, paste it, and what you are doing, you are from the patients table, you are picking all the patients where your patient ID is in this set. Okay, and then you say select star because you need to show all the columns, and you can see this is the right query. Okay, so this was very simple. No explanation needed. I'll go to the next question. Select the total number of admissions. Okay, so this is like super simple. I think I should not even cover this. So I just need to go ahead and count the number of admissions. So for that, you can see we have an admissions table, and I just need to say select count star from admissions. Great. So just need to go ahead and like collect all the rows from this admissions table and just return the count of all the rows. Okay, so from admissions, now no patients, from admissions select all the rows and count it and return it. That's it. Okay, next question. Okay, so let's see the next question. Show all the columns from admissions. Okay, so admissions table. So okay, from admissions where the patient was admitted and discharged on the same day. So in my admissions, I can see admission date and discharge date. So I just need to find out all those rows where these two are same. So select all the columns, right? So select star from admissions where admission date is equal to discharge date, and hit Control Enter, and that's a correct query. Perfect. Let's go to the next question. Show the patient ID, okay, and the total number of admissions for patient ID 579. Okay, so I need to count all the rows in my admissions table where my patient ID is 579. Okay, so from admissions, I need to count it, and the condition is where my patient ID is equal to 579. Select, I need to return patient ID, so patient ID, comma, count of all those rows which are found, and the name of this column should be total admissions. Total admissions. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm picking the admissions table. From that admissions table, I'm finding all the rows where my patient ID is 579, and then from all those rows, I'm picking the patient ID column and a new column, total admissions. The logic is count of those rows. Control enter. Okay, and there is an issue. Total admissions. Maybe because I put it as a number, let's make it string and hit control enter. Yes, so this was just a simple issue because an ID is a string. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Write a query to find the first name, last name and birth date of patients. So patients who has height greater than 160 and weight greater than 70. Okay, so this one is on table patients. So from patients where my height is greater than 160 and my weight is less than, okay, and weight is greater than 70. Weight is greater than 70. And from this result, I need to pick first name, last name, and birth date. Perfect. So that this is the right query, and we can see the result. Awesome. Let's go to the next question. Write a query to find list of patients, first name, last name, and allergies. Okay, so I can see this allergies, where allergies are not null and are from city Hamilton. Okay, so from patients only, from patients, and allergies where allergies are not null. So where allergies is not null and are from city Hamilton. So city is there and city is equal to Hamilton. And from this I need to select first name, last name, and allergies. Awesome. But there is an issue. Okay, what is the issue? First name, first name, last name, allergies. Okay, great. Let's go to the next question. I hope you have understood this. Okay, so if you are not understanding anything, or if you are having any issue with like any doubt you are having, reach out to me on LinkedIn, or you can also book a one-on-one call with me using TopMed. The links are in the description. But I would say one thing, some people are like just reaching out to me with their doubt. Hey, I am facing this issue in this Firebase thing, or no, you don't have to like ping others with your issues. First of all, there is like ChatGPT. Go and try it out. Try to solve all your doubts on ChatGPT. And if there is really a serious concern or doubt that you are not able to solve, then you ping others, right? If you will depend on others, you will never be able to learn on your own, right? Previously, it used to be Stack Overflow. People were like lazy to search on Stack Overflow, but now there is ChatGPT. So before you ping others, first try to solve your doubt on your own using ChatGPT. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, great. Awesome. So if you see the list, we have actually covered all the easy questions. Okay, one is left. So let's do this. Based on the, okay, we did that also. I think, yeah, we had completed this, I guess. So I don't know why it's not reflecting, but we had covered this. So we have covered all the easy questions. Now I think we should go ahead with the medium question. Okay, great. Let's do the first medium question. Show unique birth years, okay, from patient. So my table is patients, and order them by ascending. So two things. First of all, we need to find out all the unique years, birth years, okay, and we need to sort them by ascending. So for sorting, you have order by what value? Birth year value. And this birth year column we have to create right now. This is not existing, right? So birth year. Now we have to find out the unique birth year. So you can see that in SQL we have this distinct keyword, which is actually used to retrieve the unique values, and that is what we need to do over here. So select distinct, okay, distinct year, fetch the year from the birth date. So we have this birth date column, and you need to make this year, you have to fit this year into a new column, which is called birth year, and we are going to sort this whole column using this birth year value. Hit Control Enter, and you can see this is the right query. Awesome. Let's go to the next question. So we solved the first medium question. Okay, so this is the next question. Show unique first names from the patients table. Okay, so from patients, which only occurs once in the list. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to find out the unique first names, which the frequency of that first name should only be 1. Okay, so if 2 or more people are named John, so if there are 2 or more folks who have name John in the first name column, then don't include their name in the output list. Why? Because 2 people have the same first name. If only one person is named Leo, then include that. So we need to find out those rows, okay, those rows which have unique first name, and that first name should not be occurring twice in our table. So for this, you need to know 2-3 more clauses, right? So one is group by in SQL. So what this does is, group by is one of the most frequently used SQL clauses, and it's a very important clause. It allows you to collapse a field into distinct values. So what we are going to do is we are going to club our data table using group by on the first name. So what will happen if there are like multiple Johns, they will be clubbed in one section, right? So you can find out the count of that section, and you can see if it is 1, that means only one person is there who has name John, and that is your output, right? So this group by is very important because this helps you to bundle up the data table rows by a single column name. Okay, and over here our column name should be first name. Okay, oh, great. And you have another clause which is called having, and with group by we usually use this having clause. So what this does is used to filter the results of a group by query. So we are going to use group by, and then we need to filter the results because we need to find out that name which has count 1. Okay, query based on the result of an aggregate function. So we are going to first run group by, whatever bundle we have got, right, grouped by group we have got, we'll find out the count of that group using having, and if it is 1, that is our output. I hope you are understanding, but let's write down the query. So from patients, what I need to do is I need to group by first name, and then I'll check having count is 1. So what this is going to do, select first name. So this will be first name. Okay, so what I'm doing, from my patients table, or I'm grouping my patients table by first name. So all the Johns which are there in my table, they will be clubbed, and whatever result I've got from this group by, I'll find out the count of each group, and if it is equal to 1, that is my output, and from that output I'll pick the first name. So let's try to run it, and you can see this is the right query. Okay, so you can assume that this group by and this having work collaboratively. They are always found together. So whatever result of your group by is will be provided to this having, and this having will work on that result, find out the count, and from those names we will just get the first name and return it. So it is actually very simple once you see the output. Okay, so it is fine if you are not able to write it on your own on the first go. Let's go to the next question. So this is our next question. Show patient ID and first name from patients where their first name start and end with S and is at least 6 characters long. Okay, so first of all, select your table. So from patients, then you write the where clause, where my first name start and end with S. So first name, you will again use like, start with S and end with S. So S are going to be there, but in between there should be 4 characters because total length should be 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you write percentage. So what this means is it will start from S, it should end with S, but in between there can be any 4 characters. Any 4 characters can be there. Okay, and then you select patient ID and first name from your results. So hit Control Enter, and you can see this is the right output, and you can see the solution also. So select patient name, patient ID, and first name from patients, where first name like this. Let's write the single quotes. I think I made a mistake, and hit Control Enter. Okay, let me select this question, and this should be like this. Yes, so this is actually the right query. Okay, awesome. Let's go to the next question. So this is the next question. Show patient ID, first name, last name from patient. So let's write down the table name from patients whose diagnosis is dementia. So you can see in my patients, I don't have any diagnosis table. But if you see, they have also written primary diagnosis is stored in the admissions table. So in the admissions table, you can see I have this diagnosis. So that means I have to use join. Okay, so patients join admissions. Okay, on patient ID, and I need to see, I need to find out where my admissions dot diagnosis is equal to dementia. So dementia. Okay, and from this I need to fetch ID, first name, and last name. Okay, so select patient ID, first name, and last name. Okay, so there is an issue. Patient. Okay, there is again an issue. Column patient ID. Select patient ID. Patient ID, yes, patient ID, spelling is correct. First name and last name from patients, join admissions. Oh, okay. So over here also, because we have joined the table, I need to tell it from which table we need to fetch the patient ID. So that's why it is not able to find it. So patients dot patient ID, first name and last name. And you can see this is the right query. Awesome. Let's go to the next question. Next question says, display every patient's first name, order the list by the length of each name, and then by alphabetically. Okay, so display every patient's first name. Okay, so we need to work on patients table only. So from patients, display every patient's first name. So select first name, order the list by the length of each name, and then by alphabetically. Okay, so order by how to find out the length of this. So let's see, let's say I don't know, find length of column value in SQL. So we can use condition character length. Yes, len we can use. Order by length of my first name, and then by alphabetically. Okay, so order by first name alphabetically. Select first name from patients. I think this should be good. So order by the length of the first name, and then you order it by the first name. Okay, so you can see this is the right query. Select first name from patients, first order it by the length of the first name, and then order it by the first name itself. So first by length and then alphabetically. Great. Let's jump on to the next question. Show the total amount of male patients and the total amount of female patients in the patients table. Display the two results in the same row. Okay, so we need to have two columns. Okay, male count and female count. Okay, so this is my expected output. So over here I need to write a nested query. So you know, if I need to find out the count of my male patients, what I will write, select count of all the rows, counts are of all the rows where my let's see what is the gender. Yes, gender, where gender is equal to M, right? So this is going to give me all the male patients. I have not defined the table name, that's why from patients. Okay, from patients, select count star where, and this where is going to come over here. You can see 2468 is my male my male patients. So select count star from patients, and if I make it F, this gives me the female patients. So what I can do is I need to write down the nested query. So select count star from patients where my gender is F, count star as female patients and as male patients. Okay, as male patients, and if I make it M over here, this gives me that column name with this 2468. So this is like one query, and I need to write down the next query. Which says female patients, and this should be F. Okay, so these are the two queries that I've got, but now I need to club them in one single table, right? So my final query should be select, okay, select, and over here what I'm going to say, another query which says select count of star, count all the rows, count from patients where your gender is male, right? And this query will be stored in male patients column. Okay, next query. So this query is done. Next query, comma, same thing, exact same thing, from patients where gender is female. Okay, I think this should be good enough. This is not going to be there. Select this, and yes, so this is the right query, I guess. Yes, I think, yeah, male patients and female patients 2062 and 2468. Okay, and this is something that I have written. This is another output that you are using the sum operator and you are finding the sum of all the male rows. This is also correct. And there is a third one where you use sum and you use case. Multiple ways of writing the same query, but I think we are also right. Okay, great. Let's go to the next question. Show first name and last name and allergies from patients. Okay, so from patients, that's the first thing that we have got, which have allergies to either penicillin or morphine, where allergies is equal to penicillin or allergies is equal to morphine. Okay, show results ordered ascending by allergies. Okay, so order by allergies and then by first name, then by last name. Okay, so first name, last name, and then you pick all the columns that you need to show in the output. So select first name, last name, and allergies. Perfect. In first go itself, we got the right query. Awesome. Okay, so let's see the next question. It's a medium problem and it's a bit tricky, so you need to focus. Show patient ID. Okay, diagnosis from admissions. Okay, so as soon as you get the first thing, your table, write it down, admissions. Find patients admitted multiple times. So you need to find out from this table who are those patients who are admitted multiple times in the hospital for the same diagnosis. That means whenever you get such words like same or group, some kind of these words, then you need to be sure that you need to group by your table. You need to group your table on some field. So in my case, the field is diagnosis. So what I need to do, if I group by my table on diagnosis, then I will, in my table, I'll have some bundles. I will have groups, right? and those groups will have only one disease, that is that diagnosis, right? And if I group the table not just on diagnosis but also on the patient ID, right, and then I find out the count, then I can be sure that hey, these are those patients who are appearing multiple times if their count is more than one. I know it might sound like very difficult to understand, but as soon as I'll start writing down the query, it will become very easier for you. Okay, so from admissions, if I group by my table on diagnosis, so group by diagnosis, and also I need to group by on the patient ID, right? So that it create bundles, it create groups for every patient for that diagnosis, right? So patient ID, comma diagnosis, right? And then if you have group by, then you have to use having clause, right? So I can say, tell me those groups which are having, tell me those rows which are having the count of the rows should be greater than 1. Okay, so in those groups, which are those groups which are having more than one rows? Because that will mean that same patient is getting admitted in the hospital for the same diagnosis. Because this is why we are doing that group by, because this groups the table on patient ID and diagnosis both. Okay, so this is very important. Group by patient ID diagnosis having count more than 1, and then you can pick up patient ID comma diagnosis, and you can see this is the right solution. I hope you understood. If not, you can just watch this last 4 minutes again. Okay, let's go to the next question. View all questions. So let's see which question we haven't solved yet. Okay, this one. Show the city and the total number of patients in the city. Okay, so show the city and total number of patients in that city. Somewhere I'm again aligning towards group. Okay, so that if I try to group this table on city, then I can find the rows and they will be the patients in that city. Okay, so order from most to least patients. So this again order by clause I have to use, and then by city name ascending. So there are two orders that I have to maintain, two sorting I have to do. But before that, let's try to write down the table name. So from patients, okay, I need to select show the city, so city, and the count of the rows that will appear. I'll come to that. So count as what is the name? As number of patients. You can see this is the number of patients. So as number of patients, and then you can write down show the city and the total number of patients in the city. So group by city, okay, group by city, and then you have order by. So order by most to least patients. Okay, so number of patients, and this order by will be in descending order. So DESC, descending order, and then by city. Okay, so then by city, but city in ascending order. So this should be the answer. Let's see. Yes, we got it right. You see how I'm solving these questions? I'm trying to break up my question. I'm trying to break down, sorry, not break up, but I'm trying to break down my question into small segments. And then at a time, I'm solving one segment. Okay. So this is the trick, what I'm using. So whenever you see the first thing that is table, write it down from patients, right? And then you can see what all information you need to print, city and this. And then you see whether you need to use order by clause or you need to group by, or you need to find out the count, and then you can do it. Okay, so this is how I'm doing. Great. Awesome. So let's go to the next question. But before that, one thing I forgot to tell that time, that recently I have started on my channel this AI engineering playlist, where I'm trying to cover the AI engineering from very ultimate basics, like the roadmap, resources, introduction to AI agents, like explanation to just a 5-year-old, then how to build a simple AI agent, everything about DeepSeek, then DevOps, LLM Ops, ML Ops, differentiation. right? So I'm trying to cover this AI engineering playlist. So if you're new on this channel, do check it out. And if you're preparing for data science interviews, then I have a very great playlist over here. Almost 55,000 folks have seen this playlist. So in this, I'm trying to make projects using Kaggle datasets. So I'm trying to do Kaggle datasets analysis, and this is a great playlist that I've built. Do check it out. Show first name, last name, and role of every person that is either a patient or a doctor. Okay, so this is tricky because in my database, I have patients table, I have doctors table. But now in the output, you can see I need to combine these two tables, patient and doctors. Okay. So both of the tables need to be combined, and whenever you need to find the combination of these two tables or like the union of these two tables, we use a keyword called union. Okay, so let's see how we can do it. First of all, select first name, last name, comma, role, and you can see that if the guy is a patient, then you need to have the role as patient. Okay, so I will have a string patient as role. Okay, and this one I'm fetching from the patients table. Okay, then I will have something similar, first name, last name, but the role will be doctor as role from doctors. And then you need to combine these two, right? You need to find a union of these two. So just use union all. Okay. So this query, this keyword is going to combine or you find a union of both the tables. And you know that whenever you use union, that means you are considering all the values from the left one and from the right one. Let's run it and you can see it is correct. Awesome. Let's get to the next question. Okay, show all the allergies ordered by popularity. Okay, so where are my allergies? My allergies are in my patients table itself. So from patients, I need to pick the allergies. Okay, so select allergies. Okay, ordered by popularity, remove null values from the query. Okay. So where my allergies is not null. Okay, and then you can see that you need to find out the count. Okay, and you can see that I also need to group my table on this allergies. Why? Because I need to find the count of that group. So I can say allergies plus the count of all the rows that will be fetched, where allergies is not null, and then you group by allergies. And I can see that the order is quite descending. So I can say descending. Okay, so there is a problem. Group by allergies descending. What is the issue near? Okay, let's say we remove this and let's see what's the error we get. Okay, so I can see allergies count will be as total diagnosis. Okay, so now this is there, but this is not in the order. So group by allergies and order by, oh, okay. So the issue that I was doing was I was writing descending over here. So that was my mistake. So order by total diagnosis. So I'll copy this and then in the descending order, and you can see we solved it. Amazing, guys. Let's get to the next question. I'm not clicking on this next question because I don't know why it is not working. So let's click on OK and let's go like that itself. Yeah, awesome. Show all the patients first name, last name and birth date. So it is patients. So my table remains patients. Then first name, last name and birth date. Okay, so I'll say first name, last name and birth date. Okay, who were born in the 1970s? Okay, decade. Sort the list starting from the earliest birth date. So I need to do sorting. So that means order by will be used somewhere. So order by is going to get used. Okay, But before that, you can see I need to find all the people who were born in this decade. That means between 1970 to 1979 inclusive. So 1970 to 1980, if I say, from patients, first name, last name and birth date who were born in the 1970s. So where the year, birth date between 1970 and 1979. So in this between, this one is inclusive and this one is also inclusive. Okay. Order by sort the list starting from the earliest birth date. So order by will be on birth date itself, and you can see we are right. I hope guys you are not just watching this video, you are also solving alongside, right? So don't pause the video whenever I'm coming to the solution. So before watching my solution, try to give it a shot. Let's get to the next question. We want to display each patient's full name, patient. So my table remains patient. Display each patient's full name in single column. Okay, tricky. Their last name in all upper letters must appear first. Okay, so you can see the output also. First of all, we are seeing the last name. So select, okay, let's read further. Their last name in all upper letters must appear first, then first name in all lowercase letters. Separate the last name and first name with a comma. Okay, so I need to combine these two. So again, we can use concat. I already taught you this. Okay, so concat, first value will be upper of what? Last name. And then I can see a comma. So I can see a comma. And then I can see lower first name. Okay, awesome. Now separate this one is also done. Order the list by the first name. So order by first name in descending order, DESC. And you see very fastly we wrapped up this medium question. This was a medium question, not an easy question. Awesome. So if you also did it in the first go, congrats, you are learning it. Let's get to the next question. Okay. Let's see. Yes. Show the province IDs, sum of the height, where total sum of its patient height is greater than or equal to 7,000. Okay. So province IDs, sum of height, where total sum of its patient's height is greater than or equal to 7,000. That means we will be grouping by province ID. Then only we can get all the patients for that province. Okay, so this is the province ID. So I need to pick from patient itself, from patients, group by province ID. Okay, and you can see that I need to return the output in like this format. Select province ID, comma, sum of height. Okay, so sum of what? So this is tricky, but this will be like sum height, group by province ID, where the total sum of its patient height is greater than or equal to 7. So where, having sum height is greater than or equal to 7,000, So this is right, where sum of height as sum height, right? So what I'm doing, I'm first trying to group by province ID, then I have groups of the patients, and then I see where, so I'll find the sum of the heights of all those patients. I'll store it in the sum height variable, and wherever this sum height is greater than 7,000, I need to return those. Great, this is right? So all the provinces where the sum height of all the patients is greater than 7,000, they are being returned. Great, let's get to the next question. Okay, show the difference between the largest weight and smallest weight, okay, for patients with the last name Meroni, okay, from patients, show the difference between the largest weight and the smallest weight for patients with the last name Meroni. Okay, where last name is equal to Meroni. So this is returning me all the patients with last name Meroni. You can see these are all the folks with last name Meroni. Great. Show the difference between the largest weight and the smallest weight. Okay. And you can see my output is like this. Okay. So select difference between the largest weight. So if I find the max, so select max of weight. Okay. And I find the minimum of weight. Select maximum weight, minimum weight as weight delta, and you can see this is right. So what I did, I picked the patients table. I found all the names patients with this last name Meroni, and then for that I find out the difference between the maximum and the minimum weights, and I stored it in the weight delta, and I'm returning it. You see, so easy. Great. So let's get to the next question. I think we are around 31. We have solved around 30 questions. Okay, so let's see the next question. Show all the days of the month 1 to 31. Okay. And how many admission dates? So if I go to the admissions table, how many admission dates, I can see the date is here, occurred on that day. Okay. Sort by the day with most admissions to least admissions. So one thing is I have to order. Okay. So I can see that some time I'll be ordering my rows. Sort by the day with most admissions to least admissions. Okay. That means descending. How many admissions dates occurred on that day? So that means day I have to find out from this admission date. So this is a date. From that date I have to find out the day. And that we find out like this. Day from admission date. Okay, so this is the day. And then you can see show all the days of the month 1 to 31 and how many admissions dates occurred on that day. That means I need to group by. Okay, I need to group by. I can see the day number. So select day admission date as day number. Okay, so I'm just finding out the day from this date and saving it in day number variable. Okay, so that I can use this. Now I don't need this one. As day number, comma, number of admissions. So comma, count of all those rows and save it in the variable number of admissions. So number of admissions. So what I'm doing, first of all, my first column is day number. So that I have found. My second column is the count, just the count. So count of all the rows, which I'm going to find out right now, and just save it in this column name. First column name, second column name. Okay, that is done. Next, I need to group by on my day number, right? Because this is the day number 11, 4, 9, whatever. And that I have to group by. So first of all, you write down your table name. So admissions, group by on my day number, right? Group by my day number. And I need to sort by the day with most admissions to least admissions. So order by number of admissions in descending order. And you can see. So it all depends on your breaking down skills, like how well you can break down a bigger problem into smaller chunks. Within the first go, your answer will be right. Okay. Let's see the next question. So let's go to our next question. This one. Show all the columns for patient ID 542. Okay, where my patient ID is 542. So this one I'll be writing down where my patient ID is equal to 542. Okay, so this line is done. Most recent admission date. Show all the columns for the patient ID, admission date, discharge date. Okay, so from this admissions table I have to show all the column names. So select star from admissions. Okay, select star from admissions where my patient ID is 542. So all the rows for my patient ID 542. Most recent, show all the columns for patient most recent admission date. So one row I have to show with the most recent admission date. Okay, this is my admission date. So what I can do is I can group by on this patient ID. I can group by on the patient ID so that I can get all of my rows for this patient ID in a group. So group by, and I can use having also then. Group by on this patient ID. And then you can see that if I find out the maximum from this table, maximum on the admission date, if I do a date, if I wrap it the date with the maximum for that column, I'll find out the most recent date. Okay, because max is going to give me, max on that date will give me the most recent date. So I can say having whichever row from this group. So having admission date is equal to max of the admission date. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to find out the maximum admission date, the most recent date, trying to see whichever row has this admission date, and then I'm going to return it, all the columns. So, and you can see this is right. So what I did, I first of all group by my whole table on patient ID, and I'm only interested in this patient ID 542. Then using having, I found using max, I found the most recent date. Try to find out which row has that most recent date, and then all the columns for that, for those rows, for that row. Okay, great. Let's go to the next question. So this is actually a difficult question. So you can see, show patient ID. Okay, patient ID. Okay, attending doctor ID and diagnosis for admissions. So I'm interested in the admissions table. So from admissions, okay, that, and in this admissions table I am interested in patient ID, attending doctor ID, and diagnosis. So these three. So select patient ID and diagnosis. From admissions that match one of the two criteria. So there are two criteria that have been given. Okay, patient ID is an odd number. Okay, so where, let's write down our first condition, where my patient ID is an odd number. So my patient ID mod 2 is not equal to 0. Okay, patient ID is not equal to 0. That means it's a patient ID is an odd number, and attending doctor ID is either 1, 5 or 19 in 1, 5, 19. Okay, so this is the first condition. What is the second condition? So or right, where my attending doctor ID contains a 2. Okay, so it should be like contains a 2. Okay, contains a 2, that means %2%. That means anything can be there over here or over here. Okay, so attending doctor ID contains a 2 and the length, and so this should be like this, and length of what? Length of my patient ID is 3 characters. Okay, is 3 characters. Length of my patient ID is equal to 3. So these are my two conditions. So I can wrap it up like this, where this or this. So these are my two conditions. I think this should be right. No, there is something wrong. Where syntax error. Okay, where patient ID mod 2 is not equal to 0 and attending doctor ID is this. Okay, very silly mistake. This where will not come twice, so this will go away from here. This is my first condition, right? And this is my second condition. So these are the two conditions, and over here only once I'm going to write where, right? And this one will not be closed over here. This will be closed over here itself. Okay, so these are the two conditions, right? Starting from here, ending till here. And you can see this is right. So what I'm doing, first condition, second condition, both are joined by or and where, right? So only one where, and then you can return all those columns which you want to return. So this is the next question, which says show first name, last name, and total number of admissions. Okay, attended by each doctor, attended for each doctor. Okay, so first of all, I need to show the first name, last name of a doctor. So I am interested in this doctor's table. So from this doctor's table, I'll be picking up first name, last name, and total number of admissions. Okay, so total number of admissions are not in this table. I have to go on this admissions table, join these two tables, and then count wherever this attending doctor ID is equal to this doctor ID, and we might have to group also, so that I can count the group of each doctor. That will be the total number of admissions for that doctor. So select first name. I can perform a join. So from admissions, I can call this admissions as A. Okay, you can do that, and you can join this admissions table on doctors. Okay, so join doctors, let's call it as D, on wherever D dot doctor ID is equal to A dot admissions ID, admissions dot attending doctor ID. Okay, and then you can group this by attending doctor ID. Okay, sorry, this will be A dot attending doctor ID. No, you can remove this. Admissions dot attending doctor ID, admissions dot attending doctor ID, and this should be attending doctor ID. Okay, maybe like this, and you need to also show the total number of count. So count star as admissions total. Yes, you can see this is right. First of all, I pick the admissions table, I join it with the doctors table, and doctors I'm assigning in a D variable. I just wanted to teach you how to do that. Doctors D, and D dot doctor ID, wherever this doctor ID is matching with my admissions attending doctor ID. Okay, I need to pick those rows. So I'm just joining on this doctor ID, then group by on the doctor ID, so that I can have a group for each doctor, and then for all the doctors pick first name, last name, and count off those rows. That's it. Okay, so you read this 1 or 2 times, and then you will master this. Okay, let's go to the next question. For each doctor, so again doctor, display their ID, full name, okay, and first and last admission date they attended. So in my doctors table, I am having doctor ID. So again, I think we have to join doctor and admissions. Okay, so you can see we have a doctor ID, we have full name. Okay, so what I can do is from doctors, and we need to select concat. What we need to concat? We need to concat the first name, and then a space, and then last name. Okay, so this will give me the full name. Okay, but before that, we also need to pick the doctor ID. So doctor ID, comma, the full name, and this will be column name will be as full name. Okay, so 2 things I've got this doctor ID, I've got this full name, and then first admission date and last admission date. Okay, first admission date and last admission date. Okay, so I'll keep the space for it, I'll fill it later. So first name, first admission date, and last admission date. So I need to join my doctors, join my admissions. Okay, and I need to group by also. So join this on doctor ID. Okay, so I can call this doctor as D. So and let's call this admission as A. So on A dot attending doctor ID is equal to, I need to also group by attending doctor ID. So I can remove this. Join admissions on attending doctor ID. Attending doctor ID will be admissions dot attending doctor ID. Doctor ID is equal to D dot doctor ID. Okay, and then so this is like one thing. You have created a combined joined table. From that joined table, you are picking the doctor ID, you are picking the full name, and then you will pick the first and the last admission date. And then you also group by, admissions dot attending doctor ID. Admissions dot attending doctor ID. Right. So now I have the combined table. Now I'll pick maximum. Maximum in the admissions. I have this admission date. Right. So I'll pick the maximum admission date as maximum admission date as the last admission date, I guess. Last admission date, comma, minimum admission date as first admission date. First admission date. I think this should run. No, there is a problem near max. Okay, full name. Okay, one comma is missing, and you can see this is right. Awesome. So we solved it. So what I did, I first of all picked the doctors table, joined it on the admissions table so that I can work with both of the tables data on this doctor ID. I grouped it by the doctor ID so that I can get groups for each doctor, and then from that group I am finding out the doctor ID, finding out the full name, maximum admission ID, maximum admission date, and minimum admission date as last and first respectively. Okay, this is very simple. Read it, you will get it. Very easy. Let's go to the next question. So display the total amount of patients. Okay, so now I think we need to work with patients for each province. Okay, so province and then patients. So we will be working with, so if I join province on patients, so from provinces, province names, correct? Province names, let's call it as PR. Join it on patients. Okay, on patients dot province ID is equal to PR dot province ID. Okay, now I've got the combined table, and then display the total number of patients for each province. So I need to group by PR dot province ID. No, yes, group by province ID, yes. And you need to pick from this joined table. I need to pick province name, province name, comma, count of all those rows. Okay, I need to group by, I need to group by the province. That I've done. Now I need to count the patients. So we have grouped by the province ID. We will get the patient rows. I'm just counting it as patient count as patient count, group by, and then we need to order by descending. So order by patient count. No, this is wrong. So we have got this sending by, descending. So DESC, and yes, this is right. Great, we got it. So what I did, first of all, I picked the province names table, joined it with the patients table, right? Then I formed a group using the province ID so that all the patients for every province are together in a group. And then I picked the province name. I found out the count of all the rows stored in the patient count. And then using this patient count, I am just sorting using order by in the descending order. Simple. Okay, so that's how I am doing it. Just breaking down the problem into smaller segments. Let's go to the next question. So what is our next question? This is the one. Okay. For every admissions table, display the patient's full name. Okay. That means admissions and patients we need to combine. Their admission diagnosis. Okay. Diagnosis we can get from here. And their doctor's full name. Who diagnosed it? Okay. So two joins. One admissions and patients, and then with doctors also. So if I pick admissions A, let's call this admission as A, join it on the patients table on A dot patient ID is equal to patients dot patient ID, and then join it with doctors on A dot attending doctor ID is equal to doctors dot doctor ID. Okay, so two joins which I have done, their admissions diagnosis and doctor's full name. So now because I have a combined table of containing admissions, patients and doctors, now I can select my column names. So select what I need to select: full name of the patient. So select concat first name, comma, space, last name as patient name. This is the first column, and then your diagnosis. So comma, diagnosis, second column, then the doctor's full name, you can see. Great. So I'll use the same one, I'll copy it, I'll paste it over here. First name, last name as doctor's, what is the name? Okay, sorry, what did I do? Yes, doctor name. Okay, so this will become doctor. Perfect. Okay, so there is an issue. Ambiguous column name, first name. Correct. So that is a problem. So over here I need to define from which table I am trying to get this values. Patients dot first name, doctors dot first name, and doctors dot last name. No, there is an issue. Patient dot first name, patient dot last name at patient name, diagnosis, then doctors dot first name, doctors dot last name, doctor name, row value misused. Okay, let's see the solution only. Select concat that we have done. Oh, okay. Did we just miss the concat over here? Concat. I think this was just the issue. No. We still are missing. Okay, we saw the solution, so we need to select the question again. Let me just copy this query, view all questions. Let me select the question that I was doing, this one, paste it. And if this works, that means we were just missing this concat. Yes, we were just missing this concat. Otherwise, our solution was correct. Awesome. Let's go to the next question. Display the first name, last name, and number of duplicate patients. Okay, duplicate patients based on their first name and last name. So if I find a value, first name and last name, and then I group it by, okay, so if I group by the full name, group by first name and last name, right? And then using having, I check their count. If it is more than one, then I can see that it is duplicate name, right? Patient with identical name can be considered as a duplicate, correct? So if I pick the patients table, group it by first name, comma, last name, and then I check their count. So having number of duplicates. No, why do I need to check the having? Why do I need to check the count? So if I select their first name and last name, select first name, last name, and number of duplicates. Number of duplicates will be where I'm grouping it on first name and last name. So I just need to select the count of these rows, and I'm going to store it in a column name called number of duplicates, right? If my number of duplicates, having duplicates, technical name, yes, is greater than 1. Okay, yes, this is right. So what I did, I first picked my patients table. Then my patients table rows, I grouped it on both first name and last name, so that the complete name is grouped by. And then I'm checking if the duplicate number of duplicates which I'm storing by the count is greater than 1. That means then only that group is a valid for this query, because we have to find out only those names which are having more than one frequency, right? Duplicates we have to find out. So greater than 1, and then you just select the first name and last name and this count. That's it. Simple. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, so let's read the next question, which says display patient's full name. Okay, so we are interested in the patient's table. Height in the units, feet, okay, not in the unit that is given in the question. And they have given the conversion also. So height in the question is in centimeter in the real database. We need to convert it to feet by dividing the height by 30.48. Okay. Weight in the unit pounds. So in the question, in the table, it is in kg. We have to convert it into pounds, rounded to 0 decimals, and the first one was in 1 decimal. And gender non-abbreviated. Non-abbreviated means if it is M, then we have to make it male like this, and if it is F, we have to make it female like this. Okay, so 2-3 things we need to do. Let's do them one by one. So first of all, let's pick the patients table, patients. And what we need to do, we need to do everything in the select clause itself. So select, first thing is we need to concatenate first name and last name. So I'll do that. First name, comma, space, and then your last name. So this is the first thing that we have done. Next thing that we need to do is height in the units. Okay, we need to convert centimeter to feet by dividing by 30.48. So, and it should be rounded also. So we can use round keyword, round. Height, divide by 30.48, and the number of decimal places is 1. So I'll put comma and 1. So this will be my new height, and I can call it as height, and let's call it as feet. So height in feet. This is the new column that we have created. Next column. So next column is for weight. Again, round I have to use. So round, and this will be weight, multiplying it by 2.205. So weight into 2.205, decimal places is 0, and this will be called as weight in pounds. So weight pounds, so it will be pounds. Okay, so this is the next column that we had to create. And then the birth date, so birth date will come as it is, and then gender non-abbreviated. So we need to see where it is M, we need to call it as male. Where it is F, we need to call it as female. So we need to use cases, like in if else. Over here also in SQL we have cases, right? So I can say case, so case, the first condition will be gender equal to M, then it should be called as male, else gender case will be like this. Case, when my gender is M, then male, else it will be female. Okay, so else it will be female. Okay, and you need to end this case. So this is the case that I've written, and this should be stored in a variable in a column name called as gender type. I hope you are able to understand this whole query. I think this is done. If I just run it, okay, there is a problem. Feet. Okay, so there is a problem. Height, feet, pounds. Height, feet, pounds. Okay. let's call it as like this. Feed. What is the problem in feed? If we call it like this, yeah, you can see it is running perfectly. Okay, so you can see what I have written. First of all, you need to find your concatenated full name. Then you need to have your height in feet. So I just did the mathematics over here, just write the simple logic. Then your weight, then your birth date, and then using cases, just a simple case, I just converted M to male and F to female, right? And I ended it and saved in the gender type column from my table patients. Very simple. Okay, let's go to the next question. So this is the next question, which says show patient ID first name last name from patients. Okay, so from patients who do not have any record in the admissions table. Okay, so you can see in my admissions table I have this patient ID. So if I just find out those patients whose patient ID does not lie in this admissions table, that will be my answer. So I can say if I select those patients whose patient ID do not exist in the admissions table, I'll be done. So if I just write another query, select patient ID admissions dot patient ID from admissions. So what does this query give me? This query gives me the column of the patient ID, all the patient IDs which are existing in the admissions table. Okay. Now from this row, from this complete data set, from this complete data structure, if I say not in, right, not in, so all those patient IDs which are not in this admissions patient IDs, I'll be done. So this I've written correct, okay. So now I'll select my main table from patients, and I'll select first name, I'll select the last name, and I also need to select the patient ID, first name, last name from patients, where my patient ID is not in this where my patient ID is not correct. I think this is right, not in this query. Okay, so there is an issue. The error is mostly likely because you have two select statements written. Please, okay, I think if I just write like this, yes. So I think we just had to wrap our another select statement with this circle brackets, and we are done. So this was the answer. I hope you have understood. This was not a hard one, right? Let's go ahead and see the next question. I think we are done with the medium. Okay, last medium question. We have to see the last medium question. Let's try to solve it. Display a single row, okay, with max visits, min visits, average visits, where the maximum, minimum, and average number of admissions per day is calculated. Okay, so in my admissions, you can see I have this table and I have to find out for that day. So my main field, my main column name is going to be the day. For that day, so that means some grouping needs to happen on day, right? Because if I group my data on day, then I can find out the maximum, minimum, and average visits for from that group, right? Okay, let's do that. From admissions, and I need to select three values. Some okay, one value will be maximum visits. So one value will be on maximum visits. I need to calculate this maximum visits for sure. Maximum visits. Okay. Then minimum visits. For now I'm just writing the variables, and then average visits. Okay. I'll be calculating these three. From my admissions, if I group by the admission date, right? Group by admission date. Yeah, group by admission date. Display the single row with maximum visits, minimum visits, average visits, where the maximum, minimum number of admissions per day. Number of admissions per day. Count. Yes, I need to work with the count. I think one query is not enough. So I need to divide this question into multiple queries. I think 2 queries should be enough. First of all, if I find from my admissions table, if I group by on the admission date, so from admissions, if I group by on admission date, yeah, and from this I pick the admission date, what will I get? So if I wrap it up, if I just hit it, I can see I get all my admissions date, right? And if I find out the count of the number of rows in each group, so if I say count of all the rows for each group as number of admissions, so you can see for this date I'm having 17 admissions, for this date I'm having 9 admissions, for this date I'm having 9 admissions. Okay, now from this I can find out the maximum, minimum and average on this particular row, on this particular column. So this is my new table that I have to work on, right? From this table I can do all the mathematical functions. So if I just wrap this query in circular brackets and I say pick this table, right? I am not interested in this patients or admissions table, I'm interested in this new table, right? From this table, and now I can do all the mathematical functions. So if I say select max of the number of admissions, max from this number of admissions, right, as max visits, then I can say minimum from number of admissions as min visits, and then average rounded to 2 decimal places. Okay, so this average will be wrapped by round, then average of number of admissions, rounded to 2 decimal places as average visits. I think this should work. Yes, you can see this is the right query, and I hope you understood it. So first of all, I created a new table which has the required column names on which I need to perform these mathematical functions, and then I wrote these mathematical functions which are very simple. So congrats, we have covered all the medium questions. So if you see, we have covered all of the easy and the medium questions. Now we need to start with the hard questions. Let's get started. Okay, so this is the next question. Show all the patients grouped into weight groups. Okay, so what is this weight group? It is given over here. So if someone's weight is 109, we need to consider them in the group 100. If someone weights is 119, we need to consider them for a group 110. So we need to make groups of 100. We need to make groups with an interval of 10, 10, 10. So 100, 110, 120, 130. And all the numbers lying between like 0 to 9, they will be put in that particular group. Okay. Show the total amount of patients in each weight group. Order the list by weight group descending. Okay, so grouping and ordering, these are the 2 things that I found we will be doing. So group by and order by, these are the 2 things that needs to be done. Okay, show all the patients grouped into weight groups. So how do you find out the group? So if someone weight is like, let's say 7, right? So how do you insert the person in a group of 0, right? So 0, 10, 20 like this, right? So if I divide 7 by 10 and I find out the floor value of this, and I find out the floor value of this gives me 0, right? So that's how I can find out the group. But if someone's weight is like, let's say 109, and if I divide it by 100, right? If I divide it by 100, I get 10.9. right? 10.9. And if where do I need to reach? I need to reach 100, right? I need to reach 100. So if I divide 109 by 100, I get 10.9. If I make the floor of it, I get 10. And if I multiply it by 10, I get this 100 value. Let's take one more example. Let's say my weight is 119, right? So for 119, if I divide by 100, I get 11.9. And if I make the floor of it, I get 11, right? And if I multiply 11 by 10, I get 110. And that's the right group, right? So if I divide it by 100, floor it, multiply by 10, I get my group. Okay, awesome. So I can say select, first I need to find out that group. So select for that weight, right? So floor of the weight of the person divide by 100 into 100 into not 100 into 10, right? Into 10. I can call it as group, weight group. Okay, and this we are doing on patients table. So from patients. So if I do like this and I hit enter, you can see I've got, so for most of them I'm getting 0. So weight by 100 or 10, weight by 10, right? Yes, I did a mistake. So weight by 10 into 10, I'll get it. So if I hit control enter, you can see now I'm getting the correct weight groups for everyone. Okay. So now what I need to do, I need to group these folks on this weight group, right? So from patients, group by on this weight group, right? On this weight group. So if I hit enter, and I now I need to find out, this is the weight group, okay, weight group. And if I somehow find out patients in that group, that means the count, I can do that. Okay, so if I say count of the rows, and I can call it as patients in group. So there is a problem, there will be comma. Yes, so patients in the group is 9214, and I need to order them also descending, right? Order them by patients in the group descending. Okay, so patients in the group, I have got this. Show all the patients in the group into weight groups. Show the total amount of patients in each weight group. Okay, and order them by weight group descending. I think, what are we missing? Patients in the group, weight group 140. So we had to weight group, okay, not by the number of patients. So weight group descending. Yes, we got it. Yeah, and this is the solution. So we did almost same. We did the count as patient in the group. So if we just write this one above, we will be in the right index of the columns. From patients, group by and order by. Hit enter. Okay, what is the issue? Okay, yeah, comma will be here. It will be removed from here. And you can see patients in the group and weight of that group. Let's go to the next question. So congrats, you solved the first hard question. So this is the next question. Show patient ID, weight and height. Okay, so from patients we need to work on patients table we need to work on. Select patient ID, then weight and height is obese from the patient's table, and is obese condition is given. If my weight by height and the whole square, if weight by height square is greater than or equal to 30, I will be considered as obese, and I need to convert my centimeters to meters. Okay, let's do that. So first of all, I again need to write a case. Okay, when when my weight upon uh, power of power of height by 100, right? Power of height upon 100, and this will be in this circle bracket. So I have found the meters over here. I converted centimeters to meters. Power will be 2, right? So meter square. So this is weight by height in meters square. If this is greater than equal to 30, if this is greater than equal to 30, then I will be called as my is obese will be 0, else 1, right? And I will end this case and I'll save it in a new column is obese. Hit enter. There is a problem, is obese 0, query does not match the expected output. Okay, 0 and 1, else 0, this one, weight correct, upon height meter. Okay, height I found it in the meters. I found the square of the height if it is greater than equal to 30. So for patient 1 0, first four zeros, then 1 0. Okay, so the why the problem is coming over here. From the patient displays obese as boolean when weight upon height meters square is greater than equal to 30. Weight is in units kg, correct. This should be right. So what am I missing? Let's see the solution, because I'm not able to find out the issue what I did wrong. So let's find out the solution. Select patient ID, weight, height, correct, case. So did I miss just that? Weight upon power height 100.0, comma 2 greater than equal to 30, then 0, else then 1. Okay, so did I just is obese then 1? Okay, what was the question? Obese is defined. Okay, sorry. So this will be 1, this will be 0, and I guess if we just write the query like this, from patient. So if I just copy this, let me select the question which we were solving, this one, I think, yes. So this was my mistake. I just swapped the conditions, if else condition. Silly mistake, but yeah, we got it. Let's go to the next question. My next question is this one. Okay, show patient ID first name last name. Okay, show patient ID. So patient ID first name last name and attending doctor specialty. So doctor and patient. So patients I'll save it in P, right? And I'll select P dot patient ID. Then I'll select P dot first name. I'll select P dot last name. And attending doctor's specialty. And let's save this as patient ID. And I'll save this one as patient first name, and I'll save this as patient last name. Okay, and then doctors, attending doctor specialty. Attending doctor, how will you find out the attending doctor? So if I go to patients, I cannot see any row or the column that can help me get this attending doctor specialty, but in the admissions I can see attending doctor ID. So I need to do 2 joins. I need to join my patients on admissions and then admissions on doctors, and then I can find it. So from patients P, join on admissions A on P dot patient ID is equal to A dot admission patient ID. Okay, and then again a join doctors D on D dot doctor ID is equal to A dot attending doctor ID. Now I have got the table which has both admissions, doctors and patients, all of these three things. And now I can fetch doctors, and that means D dot specialty as attending doctor specialty. No, there is an issue. Patient ID, first name, last name, attending doctor specialty. So this thing is correct. What are we missing? Do we need to group by also? Okay, we missed two more conditions. Select only those patient who has a diagnosis epilepsy. So this where my A dot diagnosis is equal to epilepsy, and the doctor's first name is Lisa, and D dot first name is Lisa. Yes, this is the correct output. I hope you got it. Okay, let's go to the next question. This one. All patients who have gone through admissions. So let me remove it. All patients who have gone through admissions can see their medical documents on our site. Okay, so admissions and patients, two things are related. Those patients are given a temporary password after their first admission. Show the patient ID and temporary password. Okay, so select patient ID, and I need to find out the temporary password from, if I join patients and admissions, right, and I group by on patient ID. So from patients, join admissions on patients dot patient ID is equal to admissions dot patient ID. So this gives me the joined table, right? So if I just say star, I get select star from right. So now I've got the combined table. Now from this combined table, if I first of all group this table on patient ID, so I say group by patients dot patient ID can see their medical documents on our site. Those patients are given a temporary password after their first admission. So this first admission I need to pick up. Show the patient ID and the temporary password. So password I can calculate. Select patient ID and your temporary password. So my temporary password will be concat of my patient ID, comma, this will be patient ID, comma, numerical length of the patient's last name. So length of last name, okay, and the last thing is year of the patient's birth date, year of patient's birth date. Yes, so these are the two things, and I can call it as temp password, right? From patients group by. So if I just remove this group by for now, year as concat, this will be like this. Yes, concat first name last name, column name patient ID, patients dot patient ID, this will be patients dot patient ID, patients dot last name, and patients dot birth date. Yes, so now I have got like for every patient I've got the temporary password. Now if I just group them on patient ID, so group by patient ID, patients dot patient ID, and yes, we got it. So it depends on your trial and error, not trial and error, but actually dividing the problem into small segments and solving one thing at a time, and slowly you form your query, right? So this is the art that I've been following, and it is working out for me. You might discover some new art of writing these queries, right? Great. This is actually helpful. Even if like I know ChatGPT writes these queries for us nowadays, we don't have to write these queries on our own. But this is a very good mental exercise to keep our brain active, writing these queries manually. Great. Let's see the next question. So this is the next question. Each admission costs $50 for patients without insurance and $10 for patients with insurance. All the patients with an even patient ID have insurance. Okay, so all the odd patient IDs do not have an insurance. So for them, the cost per admission will be $50. And for all the even patient IDs, my cost will be $10 per admission. Give each patient a yes if they have insurance and no if they don't. And now sum of all the admission cost for yeses and for no's, and then I have to show it. So I think selecting from, join, group, sum, everything is going to get used. So this is a very good question. So let's try to solve it. From patients, so if I first find the patients table and join it on the admissions table on patients dot patient ID is equal to admissions dot patient ID. And if I first of all select like all of the rows, now I've got the combined table. Now from this combined table, what am I interested in? I am interested to see if okay, so you can see one has come in the hospital twice, and one is an odd, so his total cost will be 100, right? 50 50 100, because odd do not have a insurance. So what I can do, I can say select patient ID, right? Patient ID, comma, I can create a new column. So for the new column, I need to have a case, right? So I'll put this case inside like this, right? And this will be called as has insurance, right? Now you write down your case inside it. Case. My case will be if my patient ID mod 2, is equal to 0, that means it is even, then yes. Okay, else no. Okay, if it is even, then yes. If it is else, then no. Has insurance, and if I hit okay, has insurance, what is the issue? Patient ID going wrong. Okay, I did not write end of the case, and then as insurance, right? Column name patient ID. So I'll say patients dot patient ID, has insurance. Correct. Yes. So now I can see for this patient ID, the guy does not have the insurance because it's an odd patient ID. And now if I group them on patient ID, right? If I group them on patient ID, group by patient ID, and I also write down the count of the rows. Okay. So if I hit enter, patients.patient ID, yes. So I have the patient ID 1 is coming twice, and now if I multiply this 2 by 50, right, and I multiply this 2 by 10 because this is even patient ID, and then I sum them, right, and if I sum them, so I group them on patient ID. Instead of patient ID, if I group them on has insurance, right? If I group them on has insurance, yes. So you can see I am actually not interested in this patient ID. So if I just remove this patient ID, I can see 2556 and 2511, but actually I think, okay, let's do that. No people, this is the count, and I need to multiply this by 50 and this by 10. And yes, you can see 25110 it will be correct. So I'm actually on the right place, right? I'm actually doing it correctly. So group by this. So you find out the sum, count as this, and if I save the count as let's say the count. So instead of this count, we have got this count for our own understanding, but instead of this count, I need to find out the sum of the multiplied cost. Okay, so instead of this, I'll write down again another like a case. So this is my first case, right? And then another case, and this time this case will be like multiply like added also, whatever the value I'm going to return. So case when my patients.patient ID mod 2 equal to 0, case when this, then my value will be 50. Okay, then my value will be 50. My value will be 10 because the person has the insurance, else it will be 50, right? And end it. And then it is going to take all of these tens and add it, and you can save it, you can call it as cost after insurance. Cost after insurance. Yes, this is right. So this was actually tricky. It was not tricky till we had reached this part, and this part became tricky because over here we had to actually, we were not interested in the like the rows number count. We were actually interested in the final sum. So we wrote the case, and whatever value it is returning, we keep on adding it. And then we had grouped it by the has insurance. So till here it was all easy, but this point you might have to like see the solution and get the understanding. Okay, let's see the next question. So the question says, show all the provinces that has more patients identified as male than female. Must only show full province name. Okay, I think group on the gender, or group on the province name. Let's see. From where does the province name comes up? So in the patients, I have this province ID, and then I have this province name. So most probably I have to join patients and province name. So from patients, P, join province names, PR. Select patient ID, gender, and province name. Okay. Join on patients dot province ID is equal to province names dot province ID. What is the issue? It will be P dot, and this will be PR dot. Okay, and this will be P dot, and this will be P dot, and this will be PR dot R dot. Okay. Yes, so you can see all my patients, their genders and their province name. So now what I have to do, I have to group them on province name. So if I group them, PR dot province name. So I can see patient ID, and let me also see the count. Yes, and I'm not interested in the patient ID now. So I've removed the patient ID, and I can see the genders. Male in Alberta are 47, female in British Columbia are 49, male in Manitoba are 31. So if I use having, and if I just write a simple case, right? If I just write the simple case, having case, when my p dot gender, count of p dot gender, count of p dot gender is equal to male. Actually, p dot gender is equal to male. This will be when male, then I can say as 1, right? And then 1, else 0. So at the end I'm just counting all the males in that males for that group and the females for that group. And if this count is greater than, like, male count for that province, is because I have grouped by on province, right? So for this Alberta, if the males are more than, if the count of the males are more than the count of case when p dot gender is equal to female, then call 1, else 0, and let's write end over here and end over here, right? So what I'm doing, I just first of all grouped by on the province name. Now for every group, I need to find which are those groups which are having the male counts more than the female counts, right? I think this else is creating the issue. So if I remove this else, yeah, because we only need to consider 1 when the gender is male, right? And otherwise I'm not interested. So if I hit enter, I don't need the count, and I don't need this gender. Yes, this is the right one. So this part was tricky because over here what we are doing, we need to find out those groups. So I first grouped by on the province name, and then I'm only interested in those groups which have count of the male genders, right, more than the female genders. And for that I use count. I need to count 1, like 1 will be incremented whenever you find a gender m in the rows, right? Otherwise I'm not interested. If this count increments like is more than this one female count, then you consider that province name. Okay, so this is the next question. We are looking for a specific patient. Pull all the columns for the patient. Okay, so let's remove this, and we are interested in the patient's table. Pull all the columns. That means select star, right, from patients. Who matches the following criteria? First name contains an R after the first 2 letters. Okay, from patients where first name, so first name contains an R. So first name, like, first 2 characters after the first 2 letters. So underscore underscore, and then contains an R, and then percentage. So anything can be after this R. So this is the first thing. And identifies their gender as female. So gender is equal to F, right? And born in February, May, or December. So born, that means birth date we have to pick up, and we have to find out the month from this birth date, and month from this birth date is lying in this array. So Feb means 2, May means 5, and December means 12, right? And then it will be, and next condition is their weight would be between 60 and 80. So weight between 60 and 80, and their patient ID is an odd number. So patient ID mod 2 is not 0. So is not 0. They are from city Kingston. So city is equal to Kingston, and it will be and. So there is a problem. Okay, yeah, this from will not come. Yes, it is working. Perfect. So it was simple. You just have to work with a lot of conditions. Let's go to the next question. So this is the next question. Show the percentage of patients that have male as their gender and round the answer to the nearest 100th number in their percentage form. Okay, so you can see this example 54.48. So nearest 100th number. Okay. So first of all, we need to find out all the males in the table. Then we need to divide it by total number of patients so that we get the fraction. Then we need to multiply it by 100 to get the percentage, and then we divide by 100 so that we divide by some number that it brings the percentage to the nearest 100, rounded off to 100, 100th nearest 100th, right? So we need to do this. So first of all, let's write a query that helps me get all the males, the number of males in this table. So select count star. So it counts all the rows from patients. So this is 4530, all the patients in my table. Now if I write a condition where gender is equal to male, this gives me all the males in my table, right? So this is one thing. Now what I need to do, I need to wrap it up as an inner query, right? I need to wrap it up as an inner query, and this will be my outer query. Select, and at the bottom I will have patients, right? So, and if I, yes, so this is my outer query and this is my inner query. Now inside I need to also divide it by the number of rows in this patient so that I get the fraction of ratio of the males, right? So after this I need to divide it by the count star, right? And this should be treated as float, right? This should be treated as the float because I need to round it off. So if I say select, and this will be gone from here, this will be over here, and if I say round it off this fraction as float, and how many digits? Let's say 4 digits, right? 4 digits. Why? So that I can divide by 100 and I can get the nearest 100. So that's why like rounded off to 4 decimal places. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I can call it as male ratio. Okay, so the issue is round. Okay, this will not come here, this will come over here as float. So when I ran this query, just the inner query, you can see this is what I've got, right? So, and I can also definitely change the column name male ratio, but till now I'm not finding the male ratio, I'm just finding the number of males in my table. So I need to actually divide it by the number of patients, right? So I'll divide it by count star, right? I divided by count star, and I'll also convert this to float, right? Because if I do this, I get 0, right? So I need to get the decimal. I need to treat it as float so that it can actually divide it, because this one will be integer and I need to actually get in the form of float so that I can find the percentage. So this one will be treated like this. I can use this count as float so that it gives me the float value, right? And I need to round it off. You can see this is what I've got, right? So previously it was 0 because both were integers, so it will give me the integer only. But if I convert one of them as a float, then it will actually give me the float. And now I need to round this whole thing off to 4 decimal places so that I can divide by 100 and I get to the nearest 100, right? So if I do this, you can see I got 0.5448. Now if I multiply it by 100, right? If I multiply this by 100, I get 54.48, and then I can call it as male percent, 54.48. And now I also need to attach the percentage sign. So for that I need to use concat. So one more thing we need to use concat this whole thing till here, and then you attach a percent, and now our query is correct. So a lot of things we had to do, but ultimately we got this right. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So this is the next question. For each day, display the total amount of admissions on that day. Display the amount changed from the previous day. So whenever you get such questions where you need to actually go back and take the previous value, you use something called as lag in SQL. Okay, so this is a lag function. This is a window function, right? So what it does, it actually helps you. So one of the SQL's window function that allows you to create a new column that accesses a previous row from the another column. Okay, so it will help you get access to the previous row, and that's what it is asked in the question, right? You need to get the number of admissions of the previous day so that you can find out the change. So you can see on this day, on 7th, -8, right? And on 8th, the change is 0. Then on 9th, the change is 9 because 18 minus 9 is 9. 9 minus 9 is 0. 9 minus 17 is -8. So that's how. So for such cases, we use that window function called as lag, right? So we use the combination of lag and over. Okay, so number of admissions. So we are interested in the admissions table, admissions, and we need to group it by the date, right? We need to group it by the date. So group by admission date. So group by admission date. And for now, if I just say select star, I get all the admissions which are grouped by the admission date, and I'm only interested in the admission date, right? And I need to show admission day. This is admission date, and this is not admission day. This should be a number of admissions on that day, right? The number of admissions on that day. So I can say admission date, and then I can say count of admission day, admission date as admission day. So basically what I'm trying to do, I'm actually trying to count all the admission dates for that day, right? So for how many 6 Junes are there in the group, right? How many 7 Junes are there in the group, so that I can actually find out how many admissions happened on that day, right? So if I do this, so you can see on 6th, 17, on 7th, 9, on 8th, 9. Now only one thing is left. I need another column over here. So I just need another column which we need to create. So that will also be the count, but that count will be admission date, but minus. So I need to find the difference from the previous value. So previous value you will find out by using lag. So if you use lag, right? If you use lag of count of admission date only, so lag, and then you say over which column? Over ordered by, because you need to order it from the as per the date also, order by admission date, right? And then you can call this as change. Yes, so you can see the query is working, right? So first of all, you grouped the table by admission date. Then you found out you basically found out how many admissions happened on that date, and then you try to find out the difference from those admissions date minus the previous date admissions, right? That's it. So lag and over are the two new keywords that you have learned in this query. So let's go ahead and see the next question. Sort the province names. Okay, so this is the province names table in ascending order in such a way that the province Ontario is always on the top. Okay, so first of all, if you were not given this part, can you do that? Yes, then it's an easy question. Select province names. So if first of all, write down the table name from province names, order by province name, and then you say select province name. You see all the province names are over here, but Ontario you need at the top. So you can just write a very, very simple condition over here from this case if case when province name is equal to Ontario, then you say it as any integer, right? Because integers are kept below, kept above alphabetical alphabets. So if you found Ontario, if you make it like 0, right, then your Ontario will always be considered at the top, right? So case this and you end it and you see, okay, so there is an issue. Case when province name is Ontario, then 0, then end. Near case. Okay, order by, this will not be province names, order by this, then end province name. Case is this, like this, and this one, that is then 0, else I can say province name. Yes. So basically what we are doing over here is we are ordering by province name, but if your province name is Ontario, then your order will be 0. That means I'm just replacing Ontario with 0, right? Otherwise province name, the order will be on province name. So for all the other provinces, order will be on province name, but for Ontario it will be considered as 0, or you can write like 4, right? I have to select the question again, so let me just copy this. I'm just trying to say that whenever you need to prioritize this, just assign it with an integer, because integers are kept before an alphabet, right? So if I show you again, and if I just keep 4, okay, now what is the issue? 3 is also working. 4 should also work actually. You need to again select the question. Okay, yeah, congratulations. Yes. So our 4th is also working. So I need to again select the question, that's why. But yeah, 4th is also working. That means if you keep any integer, okay, one more time I'll show you. So if you are in doubt, I'll just select this. Okay, keep it like this. If I make it like 9, you can see it is working. So you can keep any integer because integers are prioritized more than the alphabets. Perfect. Let's see the last question of this database. So this is the next question. We need a breakdown for the total number of admissions each doctor has started each year. So for every doctor, so you can see in this hints in the expected output, Claude Walls in 2018 he did 105 admissions. Same doctor in 2019 did 109 admissions. So basically we need to group them on doctor also and on year also. So some grouping is happening over here. So okay, so some grouping is happening. So grouping is happening on the year and the doctor name. So year you can find from the admissions table, but doctor's ID you will find in the doctors table. So you need to join them. Okay. So from doctors D, join admissions A, and you group them by doctor ID, right? So D dot doctor ID, and you group them by year admission, that means A dot admission date, and then you say select star. Okay, so what I've got over here, I can see Claude Walls is, so I can see 2 rows of Claude Walls. For admission date, yes, I can see 2018, 2019. So I think it has grouped them correctly. But now what I need to do, I need to show the year, right? So what I can do, I can show year A dot admission date as year. Let's call it selected year, as in the expected output, selected year. Yes, and I also need to show doctor full name. It is asked in the question actually, so that's why I'm doing it. So doctor full name. Okay, so doctor ID and doctor full name. So I'll say d dot doctor ID, comma, concat d dot first name, comma, and a space d dot last name as full name. Okay, so I have created the doctor ID, I have created the full name column, and I've created the selected year. What is the issue? And this year can actually be gone because we can replace it with the selected year. A dot admission date, full name, d dot last year. Okay, yeah, this is correct. Your doctor ID, first name, selected year, near year. Okay. Oh yeah, this there will be comma. Yes. So I can see Claude Walls 2018, Claude Walls 2019, Joshua Green 2018, Joshua Green 2019. Okay, so this is correct. Now I just need to find out the count for each year. Right? I need to find, and also we need to print the speciality. So I'll also say before year, we also need to say d dot speciality. Yes, now this column is also done. Now I just need to find out the count. So count. Okay. So after the year, I can say count star as total admissions. Okay. So 2915, 2152, 2915, 2152. No. So one mistake we are doing. What are we doing wrong? Join the table. I think, okay, so one thing is this join, we need to do it on a row, on a column. So d dot doctor ID is equal to a dot attending doctor ID. Yes, so this is correct. So the query is working fine. So what we have written, let's revise it. I'm also confused now. Let's revise it. First of all, I joined the doctors table and admissions table on this ID, right? Then I grouped this table on doctor ID and selected year, right? Because I needed the clubbed values for a doctor and the number of admissions they're doing for that year. Okay. And then I created all the columns, doctor ID, then full name, specialty, and the year, right? So I think this is correct. You got the query correct. Yeah. In the solution, I'm just checking out. They have used left join, and they've also ordered. Ordered was not asked in the question actually, but let me know. So if you will see the solution, so this is the solution. Let me paste it over here. So this is a solution that they have given, and they have ordered it, and they have used left join. Let me know in the comment section, why do you think they have used left join and this order by? It was not asked in the question to order it. Okay, so let me know, and yes, so this will be good. Now we have covered everything from the hospital DB. Now it's chance, let's quickly do Northwind DB, right? And the good part is, for the Northwind DB, if I put this filter, the questions are not much. We can actually cover it very quickly. So let's do that. Let's wrap all of these questions. Okay, so this is the first question from the new database, right? So let's get started, and this is an easy question. So we'll try to cover these easy questions quickly as possible. Show the category name and description from the categories. So I have this categories table, and I have to show category name and description. Okay, sorted by the category name. Great. So select star from categories, right? From categories, select category name and description, right? Order by category name. Yes, this is right. Let's go to the next question. Show all the contact name, address, city of all customers which are not from Germany, Mexico, and Spain. So if I go to the customers table, I have this country. Yes. So from customers, yes, select contact name address, city from customers, where country not in this array, and array is Germany, and this will be in quotes. Next is Mexico, and last is Spain. Yes, this is right. Okay, I hope you got it. We have already covered these concepts. Let's go to the next question. Show order date. So orders, yes, order date, shipped date. Order date is over here, ship date is over here. Customer ID, okay. Freight of all orders placed on 2018 Feb 26. Freight is also here, okay. So from orders, where, and select order date, shipped date, and freight, where order date is equal to 2018 Feb 26. Either you can compare the date, or you can say where my year of order date is equal to 2018, and my day order date is equal to 26, and my month order date is equal to 2. And this is giving me an issue. What is the issue? Ship date, customer ID we forgot. So if I just write customer ID, this is right. Great. Let's go to the next question. Show the employee ID, order ID, customer ID, required date, ship date from all orders shipped later than the required date. From orders, select employee ID, order ID, customer ID, required date. From orders, where my ship date later, so greater than required date. Okay, so there is an issue. Employee ID, order ID, customer ID, required date, and we also need to say ship date. Yes, this is right. Great. Let's go to the next question. Show all the even numbered order ID from orders table. Orders and order ID, where your order ID mod 2 equal to 0. This is right. Let's go to the next question. Show the city, company name, contact name of all customers. Show the city, company name, contact name of all customers from city, from cities, customers, city, which contain the letter L in the city name, sorted by the contact name. Okay, contain the letter L. From customers, select city, company name, contact name of all customers from cities which contain the letter L. Okay, from customers, where your city, like anything below, anything before capital L and anything after capital L. Okay, in the city name, sorted by, so order by contact name. This is right. Let's go to the next question. Show the company name, contact name, fax number of all customers that has a fax number, not null. Very easy. So customers, company name, fax number, okay, fax from customers, where your fax is not null. This is right. Next question. Show the first name, last name, hire date of the most recently hired employee. Okay, so employees, right? So from employees, I need to select the date which just comes, like, which is the most recent date. Show the first name and last name. First name, last name, hire date. Okay. Order by, hire date, in descending, and I'll say limit 1. This is right. So I'm just sorting my table employees on hire date in descending order so that the most recent date comes at the top, and I just want to return 1, so limit 1. This is the solution, right? Or you can see this is the solution that they have given. First name, last name, max of the hire date as hire date from employees. So that is also correct. Both are correct. Okay. Let's go to the next question. In this, one problem is you have to actually order by all the rows first, and then you can return it. This is actually better. This is the next question. Show the average unit price rounded to decimal places, the total units in the stock, total discontinued products from the products table. This is the products table. Okay. So from products, I need to select average of the unit price. So average of the unit price. So I can say, and round it to 2 decimal places. So round average of the unit price rounded to 2 decimal places. So this is the first one. I can call it as average price, right? Next thing is total units in the stock. Units in stock. So sum of the units in stock as total stock, right? And last, total discontinued products. So wherever my discontinued is true, I need to increment my count. Okay. So count case wherever. So case when your discontinued is true. Then 1 and wherever my discontinued is true, my count will increase by 1. Okay. And let's call it as total discontinued, discontinued, right? From products. Yes, this is right. So you just have to use some mathematical aggregate functions and you will be done, right? Great. Let's go to the next question. Okay, my all easy questions are done, so I need to go to the medium questions now. Okay. Show the product name, company name, category name from the product, suppliers and categories table. Okay. Show the product name, company name, category name, product name from the products. I'll pick the product name. Okay. Companies table. Is there a companies table? No. Suppliers table. Yes, suppliers table is there. Company name and categories table, category name. Okay, so I think I need to join these 3 tables. So I'll say from products, join suppliers, join categories, right? Products and suppliers. Products is over here, supplier ID. So I can join this on products.supplier ID is equal to suppliers.supplier ID. Then join categories. So categories. So if I go to the categories, I can see category ID. So if I go to the products, I should see category ID. Yes. So products dot category ID is equal to categories dot category ID. Correct. Select product name, company name, and category name. What is the issue? Syntax issue. Okay, select product name, company name, category name, product name, category name. Yes, from products. Join this products dot supplier ID is equal to suppliers dot supplier ID. Join categories. What is the issue? Near dot on this. Okay, yes, here on is missing, and you're right. So I just did a silly mistake. Let's go to the next question. This one. Show the category name and the average. Show the category name and the average product unit price for each category rounded to 2 decimal place. Each category, that means grouping by category. Okay, average product unit price. So if I go to the categories, show the category name and the average product unit price, product, and I can see the unit price. So that means joining products table and the category table. So if I say select star from my table is products, join categories on products dot category ID is equal to categories dot category ID. This is the complete table. Now if I group this table on category name, right? Category name, group by category name. Now this table is grouped by the category name, right? I guess yes. Okay, and from this I need to return average of the product unit price. So this from will go down and this will say round average unit price rounded to 2 decimal places. And you also need to return the category name, comma. Yes, this is right. So I'm just writing the category name and then the average unit price up to 2 decimal places from this table, which are joined, and categories table and products table are joined, and then you group by the category name. Awesome. Next question. So this is the next question. I need to show city, company name, contract name from customers table and suppliers table merged together. Okay, can I merge customers table and suppliers table? If you see, no, there is no primary key which connects both of them, right? So you cannot do that. So you have to directly merge the 2 table result or 2 table queries, right? And you can do that using union, right? So I'll go query by query. So the first query is going to say select city from customers, right? What you need to select from customers table? City, company name, contact name from the customers. Union, select from the suppliers. I need to select okay, same column, city, company name, and contact name from suppliers. So if you do that, you can see you get like for customers also and for suppliers also. But in the result, if you see, you have to actually show the relationship, whether this is a customer or this is a supplier, right? So I can say customers as relationship, and over here suppliers as relationship. This is correct, right? So I just did union to like combine merge the results of these 2 queries. Let's go to the next question. So I group by year and month, and if I just say select star just to see, we have got this output. Total amount of orders, orders month and order month. Okay, so order year and order month. So from this, if I pick order date, okay, so if I just say year, order date as order year, right? Comma, then month, order date as order month, sorry. Yeah, no, this is correct, and this will be order month. Then you can see order year and order month we have, and this is actually grouped correctly. And now I need to just count the number of orders. So I can just say count star. This is correct. See, I first grouped by year and month, and then I created my columns. That's it. Simple. Let's go to the next question. Hard question. Okay. Show the employee's first name and last name. Okay, so employee's first name and last name. So I'm interested in the employees table. So from employees, show first name and last name, select first name, comma last name, a number of orders column with a count of the orders taken, and a column called shipped that displays on time if the order shipped date is less than equal to the required date, late if the order, okay, order by complete, okay. So there is ordering also. So order by the employee last name, then by the first name, and then descending who. Okay, a lot of ordering. So order by last name, then by first name, and then descending by the number of orders. So I need to first create the number of orders. So I need to join it, right? I need to join the table with the orders table, right? Yes, I need to do that. Join on orders on employee dot employee, where is employees dot employee id is equal to orders dot employee id, right? And order by first name and last name, and then I need to number of orders, count the number of orders, right? I need to count this, and then I also need to create the shipped column, but let's see this first. So if I do this, I can see Steven, right? I can see Steven last name, first name and last name I can see, but I cannot see the number of orders. So I need to find out the count of the number of orders, right? So if I just say count star as number of orders. Okay, no, this is just going to count the complete this thing. So I need to group them. I need to group them on what? Group them on order ID. No, group them will not be on order ID. Group will be on show the employee's first name, last name, and number of orders column with the count of the orders taken, and a column called shipped. Okay, so I have picked first name, last name, count will be, and I need to give these tables as name. So employees E, and orders, let's say O, and I need to count orders dot order ID as the number of orders, right? And before ordering them by last name and first name, I've joined these tables. I need to group them. I've not yet created the shipped column yet. I'll do that. Group by first name and last name only. So first name, comma last name, and also I need to group them on the shipped column, right? So I'll create the last column, that is shipped, and that will be on the that will be created using cases. So I'll say case, and let's put it inside these. So case will be orders taken and shipped column that displays on time if the order ship date is less than or equal to the required date. So if my order dot shipped date is less than equal to required date, then it is on time, right? Next case will be case O dot if the order ship date is less than equal to required date, late if the order ship date, if the order shipped late, okay, that means O dot shipped date is greater, and column is ship that displays on time if the order ship date is less than or equal to the required date, late if the order shipped date, not shipped if shipped date is null. Its question is quite confusing. Late if the order shipped late, I think it is greater than required date itself. So let's do that. Required date, then it is late, right? And else it will be null. Not shipped, actually not shipped if it is null, right? So case only, let's write case itself. O dot ship date is null, then it is not shipped. Not shipped. Okay, end. Perfect. So this is the cases thing, and I'll save it in shipped column. So order by, group by on or shipped also, actually shipped, right? Order by last name, first name, and then number of orders. So I have this number of orders over here, so I'll paste it over here, number of orders in descending order. Okay, there is an issue. I think something I'm doing wrong over here. I'm not sure. Let's see the solution and let's get it done. So select e dot first name. Okay, so this one I missed. I agree to that. E dot first name, e dot last name, or order. This is correct. This is correct. This will be e dot first name. This will be e dot last name. This will be shipped. This will be e dot last name, e dot first name, and this is correct. Okay. Count of order ID as number of order. This we did, right? Case. Okay. So this is the syntax error. I don't know like how I missed this, but case you don't write multiple times. You write case once. Case. I don't know like why I did this. In the all of the previous 55-60 questions I did it right, but now I messed it up. So case is this, then this, and when. So this is all replaced by when. Okay. Case when order or ship date is less than equal to or required date, then on time, and yes, when order or shipped date is greater than the required o dot required date. So this is one more mistake. Then late, and o dot ship date is null, then not shipped, and end as shipped. I think then okay, still not working. Okay, orders O, this can become E, this can become O. Okay, but at least I'm getting some output. And yes, I have to just select the question. So I'll copy my query and I'll pick my question. I'll paste it. I'll hit enter and it is now working. So a lot of syntax issues I did in this query. I agree, right? But I hope you are not making the same mistake. Okay, let's do the last question of this video. Okay, the question is I hope this question is easy. Show how much money the company lost due to giving discounts each year. Order the years from most recent to last recent, round to 2 decimal places. Okay, not that easy. So we have to, in the hint, you can see that we have to work with order details. Okay, because in this order details, I can get the discount value, right? Then I have to work with the orders because a company will have orders. So from this company ID, I can find the information about that company, right? So I can see that this one, how much a company lost during supplier, actually supplier, where is the supplier? Okay, employee ID is there, order date is there, required, shipped via freight, ship. Okay, there is no information about the company. In the order details, no information about the company. Show how much money, but in the products, I do have information about the supplier. Okay. Okay. So that means on a product, so we have to work with the product ID, because on a product, you can see the, okay, in the orders, you get the order ID. From this order ID, you can fetch the order details. From this product ID, you can get the product details. And from that, you can get the supplier ID. Anyways, we don't have to show any information on the supplier in our final output. We have to show the order year and we have to show the discount amount. Okay, I got it. This actually information is about of one company itself. I was like in a misconception that this is details about an e-commerce platform where multiple companies are there. So that is my mistake. So I got it. So this is a complete one company itself. Okay, great. So show how much money the company lost due to giving discounts each year. Order the years from most recent. Okay, so from I need to definitely join the tables. I will be joining orders, order details, and products. Do we need product? Quantity, price, because we want to get the actual selling price. Maybe that's why, right? From the orders, I can get the product, and from the product, I can get the unit price, right? So I need to first of all join them. So I'll join orders O, join OD on orders, that is O dot order ID is equal to OD dot order ID. So this is joined, and now the joining should also happen on the products. So join products on O dot product ID is equal to, this can become P dot product ID. Okay, and if I just want to select let's select star O dot product ID, order, why the order does not have any information on the product? I mean, which product this is an order of? Is it there in the order details? Yes, it's in the order details. So products P OD dot product ID is equal to P dot product ID. Yes, now I can see the data. Now from this data, I need to group them on year, right? I need to group them on year of the order date. Order date, O dot order date. So 3, 2018, 2017 and 2016. So from this, I can actually say, okay, let's keep star itself for now. But for this, from this, I have got that there are 3 years, 2016, 2017 and 2018. Now I need to calculate. Now the turn has come for the mathematical aggregate functions. I need to calculate the discount amount. So discount, if you see, is over here, right? So this is correct. And now if I want to show this order year directly, and I'm only interested in 2 columns. So first I'll say select year from O dot order date, O dot order date as order year, right? And now the second column, how will you find out the discount amount? So discount amount should be the unit price into quantity into this discount decimal, right? So it should be P dot unit price into order details, that is od dot quantity into od dot discount, right? So if I find out and we also need to round it to 2 decimal places. So this will be round. Okay, so this will be like this, 2 like this, and then you need to find out the sum of for each year, right? So it will be sum and as discount, and then you can also see that we have to how much money lost in yeah, I think this is correct. I think round should be after the sum. Let's do that. Like this will be gone. This is one thing. Yes, so sum of this thing, and then you will find the round, comma 2 like this. So 227 2016. Okay, I need to like round order them also, I guess. So order by order year, descending. Yes, we got it, guys. So awesome. So we have covered all the questions of this table, plus we also covered the questions of our hospital table also. You can see every question is done. So we actually wrapped up this whole platform. There were only 2 databases and we have done. If I'm missing anything, let me know, but we actually covered almost 70 questions. So all those people who actually watched this video till the end, thank you. And I hope you really enjoyed this complete but the complete video where I covered 70 SQL questions. And believe me, there are very few concepts that are left. And if you keep on practicing like this every day, you will become a master of SQL, right? And don't think that SQL, like nowadays, like ChatGPT and all these models are going to write SQL. Yes, they will write it, and it is no problem in that. There is no problem in that. But this SQL will actually help you keep your brain warm, right? If you put everything on ChatGPT, that is still fine, but you will lose the power of your brain. You will stop using your brain, and such practices, such mental maths actually help you keep your brain active. So that's why I did this. I also depend on ChatGPT to write the SQL queries for me whenever I'm building any project. But sometimes doing this is actually necessary for your brain to stay active. Okay. So yeah, you can check out my channel. I have like some amazing playlist. I'm teaching AI engineering. I have already taught Flutter. Around 150 videos are there. Some backend videos are there. Software development patterns are there. Some Kaggle projects are there. So approximately like 20 videos are there, and I keep on shooting such project videos. I keep on making projects. Some tech interview preparation videos are there. Interview experiences and some podcasts are there. And yes, the complete data analysis playlist is there, where I covered NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Seaborn. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any concern, you can book a session with me one-on-one using TopMate, and you can check out my LinkedIn. You can DM me there also. So till the next video, keep coding, keep innovating, and thanks a lot. And don't forget to be a part of the Discord channel. Okay, Discord server. Okay. So yeah, keep coding, keep innovating, and thanks a lot.